Hey guys, welcome to The Sophisticated Scoundrel. Today we're going to be talking about a guy who's wondering if the woman that he's with loves him or not. He's trying to figure it out. But before we get into that, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and if you haven't already, download my new free guide, The 5 Steps of How to Find Your Life Mission and Purpose. This is for all the guys out there who are lost, who don't know what to do with their life. This guide will help you figure that out and give you more confidence in both your career and your relationships. So grab that down below. Okay, let's get into our topic for today. Like I said, this guy messaged me wondering if his girlfriend loves him or not. So let's go through this. And I think there's some things in here that a lot of you guys could benefit from by using him as your example, okay? So here we go. We fell in love 6 months ago, and it was so pure and intense. But now, a few months later, and really a lot of things going on, she lost her father, and we have some serious issues with my ex-wife. Some days she even doesn't touch me, and then she is so cold and barely says a thing. Okay, so first off, let me just jump in here real quick, is that when you first meet someone, yes, this is called the honeymoon period. Everything's new, you're excited, you're discovering each other, you're just having sex for the first time. It's a lot of fun, you're exploring, you're doing all these cool things together. And people are on their best behavior for the first 90 days in general of a relationship. So the first 3 months, everything is hunky-dory, it's a lot of fun, there's no real tension, no friction, no arguments or anything like that. You guys are just on your best behavior, having a grand old time. But once you pass that, then people's true personalities start to come out. And I don't mean that's a bad thing, but it's when, the sort of that playful, that mask, that first impressions starts to fade away. And, you can really get to know now more of the reality. You get to see what they're like in their good times. You get to see when they're at their bad times and really see, okay, now I get a sense of what they're really like after all this song and dance. And so that's why it's really beneficial to get to know someone a little bit longer than 3 months, because then you can get to see, okay, this is what they're really like. Now, he does say, though, that, they had a lot of things going on where she lost her father, and then he has this extra baggage with his ex-wife in the background. So again, obviously those two things are pretty big and would put a strain on a lot of different relationships. And so she might be a little bit hot and cold. But see, here's the problem that I have with this. Actually, let me just continue going on with this and I'll get back to my problem. So it says that she's cold and barely touches, but then the next day she wants to cuddle and everything is fine. Maybe I make it up in my own mind and think too much. I am an overthinker. Sometimes I wonder if she really loves me. Okay, so here's where I want to jump in. One of the problems that I'm having here is that I'm getting the sense that he is not being a masculine leader. Now, why am I saying this? Is because, the big clue here is that he's saying he's an overthinker. And he was saying that he wonders if she really loves me. Most guys who are on their game, who are focusing on their life and mission, they care about their woman. They want to make sure she's good and everything, but they're not sitting around wondering if she loves him. That's very feminine behavior. It's like you're sitting around, oh, does she love me? That's very that's more of the woman's department. That's feminine behavior. And so when he says that she's some days doesn't touch me and it's cold and the next day she cuddles, what I'm going to say is probably happening is that the days she's cold and barely says a thing, it could be some of the emotional stuff, granted, yes, but it also could be him being a little bit needy, because just by reading his message, he sounds a little bit needy. I wonder if she really loves me. It's just that thought that will become an energy, and she's just going to feel, he might be a little clingy. He might, when she comes home, kind of touching her and wanting to hold her, and she's back off, she's kind of pushing away, and he's wanting to connect and stuff. And again, this is feminine behavior. But then maybe when he does back off, she wants to come and cuddle because now he's acting masculine. He's doing his thing and he's focusing on his mission. And then when he does that, she comes back and is cuddling and stuff like that. And everything is fine. So he says, I'm an overthinker. And guys that I know who are overthinkers, who have a lot of anxiety or just worry warts, these are the kind of guys who make women feel unsure, because these men are not being the mountain. They're not rock solid in their frame. They have a little bit more of let's see, what's the word? Like shaky ground. They're not a guy that a woman can go to with her worries. It's like he's got his own worries and she doesn't really feel comfortable like putting her trust in him, because he's kind of fluctuating all over just like she is. So, when I talk about a man is the mountain, this is what I mean. If you're an over anxious man who's always worrying and it shows with your behavior or the way you talk, or if you're worried if she loves you or not, that's not really being the mountain. That's being the chaotic. That's more the feminine side of things. A masculine man in this situation, if she's going through this stuff, he would get her to open up and talk, like, hey, come here, what's going on? What's the matter? If she says, well, I'm just so sad about my dad. Well, I know, come over here. Why don't you tell me about it? I want to hear what's going on with you. Tell me about what you're feeling right now. And then she was like, well, I miss him, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, well, what else? Tell me what else is going on that, just get it off your chest. I want to hear what's going on with you. And he'll just open her up. He'll be that rock, that mountain that she can open up to, let everything out. And he just sits there and listens and holds her. And she'll feel safe and comfortable with him. But if he's also nervous and he's like, if she says, I don't want to talk right now, he's, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. And he just goes away and lets her be. That's not exhibiting masculine strength. That's not what masculinity is about, because masculinity is about overcoming these obstacles and breaking through her wall, that defensive wall that maybe she has up because she's heard about her father, or maybe she's just annoyed that you're being needy. I don't know. Or it could be stuff with the ex-wife. She sees, okay, he doesn't have his ex-wife handled. He just has all this shit going on. I can't really trust his masculine core, right? So therefore, this is where you need to be the man and be like, okay, hey, look, no, come here. I know you're bummed out and stuff, but tell me what's going on, and really stay with her until she opens up, and not just, okay, you don't want to talk? Okay, bye. And you get out of there. No, that's not how you do it. You got to stick with her and make sure that you get her to open up and you stay with her till she does. Sometimes it requires you just to be patient and sit there. She might throw a fit. She might be like, no, I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone. That's when you're like, oh, come on. I'm not going anywhere until you tell me. Or, you go with your grabber, whatever it is. But you get her to open up, and get her to reveal and express herself. Okay, he then goes on to say that she is 14 years younger than me, 28, and I'm 42. So we're colleagues at work. I'm a logistics manager, and she is a logistics worker in the hospital. Okay, cool. So, obviously she's attracted to older men. She probably gravitates towards you because you do have that maturity level. But again, sometimes older men, when they're with a younger woman, they start to bitch out a little bit, and they can get, if you're with this younger girl, you kind of get the ooh, like you get precious about it, and you become too nice. You become overly nice and just let her do what she wants, versus being like putting your foot down, saying, hey, no, come here. If something's bothering you, I want you to tell me about it. Let's sit down and talk to me, and like hold her and look at her and really let her know that you're not going anywhere. Okay, so now here's the other detail that made me think this guy's not quite in his masculine. And he says, my ex-wife is not really feminine. She always says a good woman makes a good man, and otherwise. So, if you're attracting a woman who's not feminine, I'm not saying everybody, but just in most of my experiences is because the man is more feminine than the woman. I mean, this is what polarity is about. Opposites attract. So if he's this man who's a little bit more wishy-washy and subservient and weak and submissive, then of course this woman who's masculine and not feminine and tough guy is going to be drawn to him because she can be masculine and he's sort of feminine. That's just how those things balance out. But in general, most men are masculine, and they're not going to really like that. But if he's sort of weak, then he's going to end up with a woman like this. So he says that, but she always let me feel like a little boy that needs her for things. So yeah, again, this is what happens. So many guys treat their girlfriend or their wife like their mommy or their therapist, and the woman gets kind of sick of it. This particular situation, it sounds like you were just sort of a weak guy and you got together with this masculine, tough girl, And it wasn't good because you weren't truly acting out like your masculine self. So you ended up, splitting up. But yeah, it's like what she said her own self is that, she always let me feel like a little boy that needs her for things. So yeah, you're probably being needy. This is why when you're talking about your current girlfriend who's 28 and she's pushing you away, this is why I think, okay, you must be acting pretty damn needy and not being a strong masculine man who's centered and grounded, who leads the relationship, And for any of you other guys out there who are dealing with this stuff, and if you've gone through it, chances are you're just really not being masculine. I mean, so many of the problems that I see in relationships is because once the relationship happens, the man becomes weak, he becomes needy, he treats her like a mommy, treats her like a therapist, his girlfriend or wife, and she gets sick of it. She has to become masculine, and now when women become masculine, they become bitchy. That's just, there's no other way around it. Because it makes them feel very uncomfortable. Women are most natural when they're in their feminine energy. If they have to act like a man, they get bitchy and irritated and short-tempered. So if any of you out there experiencing that, chances are it's because you are not being fully in your masculine core. So that's what I'm saying. He says, I think I'm masculine, man. I'm a runner and love working hard for things like work. He's from Amsterdam. So again, you run, that doesn't mean you're masculine. It's like, what are you like when difficult things happen? How tough are you? Can you have emotional self-control? To me, I'm going to say you're not, because you're wondering if a woman loves you. And that's very feminine. I mean, guys who have their shit together, it's like they're focusing on this, they're doing their thing. Of course, they love their girl and pay attention to her, but they're not worrying about that all day. It's like they have more important things to worry about. I mean, and because they're at the end, they have to lead the relationship. They're not. If she doesn't follow along, then it's kind of like her loss. That's what most guys who are in their masculine think, and that's how they act. So, if you're sitting there constantly worrying, I can guarantee you it's showing up on your behavior. She reads it. So, my suggestion is you need to get in touch with your masculine side. You need to get her to talk. You need to be her mountain, and you need to stop worrying about if she loves you or not. Get involved with your own stuff. Be busy. Do your thing. Focus on work. Don't try to be all lovey-dovey. Let her do that. Those are the things that a woman likes to do. Yes, of course, a man can reciprocate, give her back to her, and every now and then surprise her, take her in your arms and just go, ravage her and have fun. But don't be like drilling in and focusing in on, does she love me? I'm just sitting here wondering. And plus, you guys have only been together for 6 months. It's just a short time. And in 6 months, you should still be vetting her. You should still be thinking to yourself, okay, is this really a girl that's for me? Like, what is she doing that's proving that she wants to be with me as the man? 6 months is really not very long at all. So that's my suggestion to you, man. And I don't know if you did this intentionally or not, but you used this emoji with the hearts. Let me just see if you wrote I don't know if that was your intention or not. Next day she wanted to cuddle, and then you wrote the emoji with hearts. You probably did this by accident. I was going to say, don't do that. Don't use emojis with the hearts. That's not masculine shit, man. That's super femmy. So don't do that. All right. If you have any other questions, though, please reach out and let me know. Otherwise, those of you who are struggling with something like this yourself, need help diagnosing it, and want to work with me one-on-one with coaching so I can spend time with you and really dig into your issues and give you a battle plan so you can say, hey, this is what you need to do so you can switch things around if things are going sideways in your relationships. Hit those links below and book a session with yours truly. All right, we'll see you in the next one.